Okay, we're going. All right. Good morning, everyone. It is 10 p.m. right now when I'm recording this, and I am having my third favorite drink. So, cheers to you. It's not my third favorite drink, but it's my first favorite drink. It's just my third one. And it's a White Russian with no ice because ice is for pussies. Just freeze your vodka and you guys are all good. The water ruins it, all right? Just don't do that, all right? It's almost 10 o'clock, and I had a potential client just leave my house. He came over, we had a few drinks. Um, he's interested in this piece. So we came and we talked about that. And then he ended up just staying and hanging out and talking about life. Last year, I was trying to do the math earlier in my head, but I think I sold, and again, this is not to be boisterous, but I sold like 20 something $1,000 of art in person. I sold it at a bar. I sold it at a home consultation, you can call it, where I went to the house. We put up blue tape, and we're like, "This is what I think you want." And and you really had to put my I really had to put my salesmanship um, into that. And I've not taken any salesmanship courses. I just learned from what I've seen on on all the free stuff on the internet, and just being a conversationalist. Being a salesman and being a leader are kind of the same thing. You're guiding people towards your goals, but you want to achieve your goals. Okay. Um, it's 10 p.m. I am going to answer some of Mike's questions. We have some really good questions in the group, and I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Thank you, Mike, for asking me these really intelligent questions. It allows me to think and to provide some content, and that's what we're here for. Okay. Before we get started, 2 videos ago, I had done I recorded a video using my iPad. I had my easel, and I was writing on the board that I bought just for that video. And then the last video before my cell phone video, before this one, I did a screencast like I'm doing now. I'm recording this on my computer, and then I had and I was doing stuff on the screen. So my question is, which do you prefer? Okay, it's much easier to do it right on my computer and have the screen, and I could write and I can draw or whatever. But it's also old school to have the video recorder, and the millennial old school to have the video recorder and the whiteboard and writing things out. So let me know. Okay, so I just had to make sure. I didn't know if we were recording just now, so I just paused. Anyway, so I got 2 really good questions in the group today. We'll start with Jesse. Jesse, you had one question, so I'm gonna start with you. He says you mentioned the law office in the restaurant in 2 of the recent videos. I was wondering if you focused on selling them images from around Seattle because they relate to those more than images shot somewhere they've never been. All right, I have a point of contention to make, and I'm only going to touch on the topic of it because that's not what this video is about. But yes, I show them local stuff, but I strive to create art that is not regional. Okay, I said art, not photographs. Art. Okay, there's a difference. There is a difference between photography and art. Um, I'm sorry, but there is. And if you only create regional work, then you will only sell regionally. And it's a big world in a small region. So, yes, I start out with the local stuff, if available. Um, for instance, if I end up talking to someone from somewhere else, then I'm going to have to start on a broader topic. But and then I try to steer, or I at least show them the work that's not regional, the work that still has impact, but is also um, not necessarily from here. Okay, because I want to sell more than my Seattle pieces. Uh, your portfolio has to be bigger than just the photos you can take around the corner. That doesn't mean you have to go further than the corner. It means you have to create broader work, right? That's what being an artist is. That's where photography stops and art begins. Okay. another topic I plan on talking about later in our 1 month thing. It's pretty touchy, and I'm probably going to hurt a few people's feelings. So moving on. Jesse, yes, I showed him local stuff. It is a selling point, but then I moved on. Okay. Um, and for the record, being completely transparent, he hasn't gotten back to me. It's been a whole day, 2 days. So, but like, you know, you just got to follow up. Mike says, morning, everyone. I'm getting caught up on other videos. Jason, we're selling a luxury item where we have the opportunity to introduce scarcity via numbered limited editions. You can tell Mike has an MBA. He's sold his work for a pretty penny in the past, so very well enunciated in his diction here. A few questions in and around the space I'd love to hear you talk through. Okay. How and when did it make sense to transition from limited edition pieces from whatever you were doing before? 2, are all of the pieces you sell now editioned pieces? 3, what is the certification process like for this? Do you have to join a professional group or something like that? 4, your cave shot, I've heard you say is you're only doing 50, and yeah, I destroyed one. Would you sell all 50 in a uniform size, or are they customized? And number 5, do I sell non-limited edition pieces to provide an entry-level opportunity for friends and family? Okay, lots of subjects here. I'm going to go longer than 5 minutes, so prepare yourself. How and when did it make sense to transition to limited edition pieces? I started with limited edition. I started by following the people who I idolize, like Peter Lake and I don't know, some of the other fools out there selling artwork, and they all had editions. Lick has editions of 950, okay? In the art world, Lick's 950 editions are worthless, okay? Outside of the photography and his commercial selling and all that stuff, the real art world doesn't think he has any value, okay? 950 is too much. It's 1,000 of things, okay? But I started out with 300, and I realized that that was too much. When I had the gallery in Las Vegas, he strongly suggested that I reduce my editions and suggested something like 50 or 25. If you go to a gallery that shows a legitimate fine art photographer, you will find that his editions are 50 or less. Good example, David Yarrow. He's been on top of my mind. His black and whites are great. His editions are like 12. Okay. So I started my editions. All my work is 50 or less, and they are. I started that in 2016. Before that, my editions were 300. It's really an arbitrary number. There's a painter. I don't remember her name. The one with the big eyes. Her work is like 500 and something, and some of her entry level editions are like 2,000, and really those are worthless. I was at my framer, and my framer had someone come in while I was there, because I'm always there for a long time, and she came in with the speech. She's like, well, how much do you think this is worth? It's an edition of 1995. And he's like, well, it's not worth anything. So your number should be small. Your number should be sellable, okay? I think I can sell 50 pieces. I haven't sold 50 pieces, transparency, but I will. So I have one piece that's editions of 12, and my nudes are editions of 15. Now let's talk about the nudes, because you said are all my editions edition of 1 of whatever, and do my editions stay the same, uniform size or whatnot? So for my landscapes, my editions are all editions of 50, no matter what size you buy, okay? My last editions, like the last 5 or 10, those are only going to be available in full size. I'm not going to sell any small ones. The price goes up as the edition sells out. That's still a number that I'm trying to work out in my head, like what is reasonable. I don't want to price myself out of the market, but I want these to show value. So editions of 50, it doesn't matter if you buy a 60-inch or 40-inch, it goes against the total edition, okay? My nudes were in a different category of fine art, which is not specifically important, but I want you to separate them. There are editions of 15, and it's 15 per edition. Right? This is a little thing that's confusing me. The gallery that I work with this is his the way he does it, and it makes sense. There are a lot of artists that do it this way. So if I have, I had 48 by 72s, 6 feet pieces. Those are editions of 50. I have 30 by 45s. I'm sorry, 15. I have 30 by 45s. Those are editions of 15. So I have 15 45-inch pieces, 15 6-foot pieces, and so on and so forth. If I have to do a custom piece for some hotel, we're talking to a hotel in Puerto Rico right now, and um, and they want some odd size 78 inches, to fit their space, that becomes a new edition of 15, or whatever I want it to be. It could be an edition of 1 if that's how they want to be the only person with this piece in Puerto Rico. Well, then they get edition 1, and I up the price. Okay. Um, Encompassing that whole thing, the whole edition stigma idea, that is up to you, and it is arbitrary. Okay, but less is more valuable. That is true no matter what the case. All right, so that was number 2. What is the certification process for this? I would say 99.9% of artists or people who are putting editions on their things that they are selling, all they do is sign it. Maybe 20% of those people keep a spreadsheet so they remember which number that they have. Okay, that's okay. That works. Okay, if you want to take it to the next level, then you do something like this. Okay, I almost spilled my drink. Hanemule Certificate of Authenticity. They don't sponsor me. Let them know that I talked about this. Maybe they will. This is one of the many ways to do it. Okay, but what they have is they have their own system, and it's a public database where your items are serial numbered. So I have some fancy watermarked paper. I don't know if you can see that. This is parchment. This isn't paper. This is made in a mold, not pressed through a mill. Okay, not super important. But what is important on this parchment, and you'll see it has deckled edges, which are hand or probably torn edges by a machine. But what I have is this. Okay, this is a holographic or serial number. It's tamper proof. Once this goes on, you can't take this off. Okay, this one is number 217989, and when I sell this piece, which is hanging on the wall over there, the collector gets one of these, and at some point one of these will go onto the back of the print, and it's tamper proof. It won't come off. So in the future, when they want to present value and proof that what they have is an original Jason Matias, they will have an authenticity, a certificate that matches the serial number that's on the art that is put in a database. Okay, that database, I think it's like $100 a year. Okay, subscriptions, I can't stand them. Whatever. I don't do the database. I don't want to pay for it. I probably will at some point, but I do keep my own spreadsheet. I could even pull it up here if you can be a little patient for me. My numbers, I'll let that load. So this whole thing was $100. $100 for the paper, and it came with 2 holographic stickers for each. All right. There's probably a question that's coming up that I'll just answer ahead of time. Do I sign the actual artwork? And I do not. Okay. I think that that ruins the flow of the piece. Plus, my work is produced in other places in Nevada, so I can't go down there and sign it. And logistically, having that piece of artwork be shipped to me and a sign and shipped back, it just doesn't work. So I have a metal plate that I get produced locally, and then I sign it in gold, and then this gets installed on the back of my print. My certificate says it's signed on the back. But the holographic stamp is tamper-proof. It doesn't come off, so same thing. It's good to go. I am looking for my business sheet. That needs to upload, so I'll show you that in a minute. Or not. Okay, so I have a spreadsheet. All right, it's, you know what? Sorry, that's odd. So basically, I keep track of all my names. Some of the details I have on here is I have the title, edition number, serial number, the name of the person who bought it, the address, their email, the size, the frame, and then I have some things that are for me. Um, Also serial numbers on here too. But I also have the date, the quarter of the year that I sold it, and I did this for myself for um, trend purposes, so I can research that and know when I'm going to get sales and when I'm not. I have the sale price and the cost of the print. So those are some business details that you might consider tracking uh, because you are a business in the business of selling art. It's not, you're not an artist that makes money sometimes. You're in the business of art. Oh, I closed that and I needed it for the questions. So, question number 4. Well, I answered question number 4 already about uniform sizes and balls. Question number 5, do I sell non-limited edition pieces? No, I don't. Okay, I discount pieces for family, or like my mom has some work that I just gave to her, so it's sold at cost. I keep track of it on my spreadsheet, and I put that I didn't make any fucking money on it, but she's my mom, so that's how it goes. I don't do non-limited edition pieces. I have the squares for the next 2 days, so I'm taking them off. But I don't sell non-limited edition pieces. But that's a decision that's up to you. But what do I do with the rest of my artwork, my photographs? I license them. So I have my A roll or my superstar images, like the ice cave, like the pieces that I have hanging here. Those go in my gallery. The rest of the pieces go in a folder that I just license those images to other companies. And that's a whole nother subject. Excuse me. It's drink time. But I know right now, if you go to TJ Maxx, you'll find one of my pictures available as like a 8x10 picture of one of my boats. That's not in my editions. I licensed it out, and some woman called me one day and was asking if she had a bit of print, but she was poor, so she didn't get it. But yeah, so I licensed those images out, and they might show up in Pier 1 or TJ Maxx, Target. And to be honest, I haven't had all that much success licensing artwork, but I have. I think I've made like 3 or 4,000 in the last 2 years. Okay, yeah, it's not nothing, but it's not a living either. So I'm hoping that picks up, and I'm working on that. But that's what I do with my work that I don't put in my limited edition catalog. Okay, I don't walk around with that art. I don't show it to people. Um, I don't make deals with it. It's just not available through my gallery. All right, that was everybody's questions. Let me do a quick scroll and make sure I answered everything. It's probably like 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Am I sorry? Um, yeah, so Jesse's question. Steve, thanks for being part of the group. People, please participate. This is how we all get better. Kate, I'm gonna have to do one of these specifically for Kate's 10,000 questions, but Kate, you're awesome. Um, Nicole, thanks for being part of the group. Steve Austin, Jennifer, I want to hear about your art show. So maybe we should set up a phone call. I want to hear how it went, what you actually did from my advice, um, and what you deployed or whatnot. And I want to hear real, no bullshit numbers. Okay. Rusty, selling prints online, commercial photography. Do I create it? Yeah, we talked about that. Separate spaces, okay? Unless you can, it has to be aesthetically pleasing and digitally ergonomic, or make it separate, okay? All right, so that answers some questions for now. I'll do a brief summary, and I've talked for too long. I didn't finish my drink, and yeah. Hey, check this out. Kate and I had a discussion. This is probably one of the best books on composition that are out there. And we talked about whether or what pieces of art should be included um, in a wall art category. So that's something we have to talk about. But you need to consider which of your pieces are cool pictures and which of your pieces are physical wall art. There's a difference. There is absolutely a difference in what sells. So this book is called Eyewitness Art. Eyewitness, one word, like the reporter. Eyewitness Art, composition. It's got some great content in there. Content you'll have to kind of learn and discover on your own, but it's in there for the learning. Um, yeah.